any research, in any study, the most important or the basic thing is data. You might have heard clinicians telling us, I have data, 10 years data of road traffic accidents came to this our casualty. Or the administrators sometimes will tell you that we have enough data in the IT section. Why can't you do a study on that? So the data, otherwise called the study variables, and they are the most important part, the basic thing, and the selection of the study variables depend upon your research question and also your research objectives. So we have name of the patient, we have the gender, we have age and demographic profile and the presenting complaints, all these are there. So we in a paper or in a study, we can't write all these. If there are hundreds or thousands of data, we can't enumerate all that. So from the Excel sheet, we have to measure this. So this class is for measurement. I'll describe the measurements of study variables and I'll stick on to the types of data and how will we measure the study variables, mainly to take average and also dispersion, right? So first I will tell you the types of data. So I have already told you what is a qualitative study and what is quantitative study. So in a qualitative study, there are mainly two types of data, namely nominal and ordinal. This nominal, here there is an n, so it is a named data, but it does not have a natural order or a ranking. Okay, so named data, how will you example? Color of eye, or the zip code. Okay, all these are nominal data. They are named data. Zip code has a name. Color of eye can be black, yellow, like that. There is a named data, but it has no order or a natural order or ranking. And what is this ordinal? Ordinal is data with an order. Okay, named data, and this is data with an order. Example, the socio-economic status, right? So the socio-economic status, we can write it as low, medium or high, or the stages of a disease. Okay. We can classify stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So there is a natural order. In case of COVID, it is category A, category B, category C. Like that we can divide. So if it is can be under qualitative, it can be either nominal or it can be an ordinal data. And coming to quantitative, it can be either discrete or it can be continuous. So discrete and continuous. Discrete is the variable whose we get the value by counting. Okay, discrete by counting, we get it by counting. Example, number of students in a class, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 120 students in a class, so we can count and tell. Okay, number of students in a class or the family size, parity, all these are examples, we can get it by counting. Okay, family size, right? And what about continuous data? Continuous data is one we get by measurement. Okay, that is by measurement. So what will be the example? That is the height, then weight, then body mass index, age we measure, isn't it? So all these are continuous variables. So discrete is by counting and continuous is by measuring. Don't confuse C for this. C is not for C. C is for D. Okay. Counting, discrete data is by counting, and continuous data we get by measurement. Okay. So these are the basic types of data. So we collected these data, and then how can we measure? Okay. Whatever may be the type of data, we have to measure it. Measurement, either we can take the average, or we can take the dispersion. Okay. I'll explain it to you. So average is mainly by three methods. One is a mean, median, and mode. Okay. So average of the steady variables are mainly by mean, median, and mode. You might have heard mean and standard deviation, isn't it? So it is by mean, median, and mode. So what is a mean? This is age of 10 females who came to an antenatal clinic. So what is the mean of these values? That is calculated by, first you have to add. So take sum of all these variables. The sum is calculated, written as like this. Okay. So in this case you have to add 26 plus 31 plus 25 plus 21 plus 26 plus 26 plus 27 plus 25 plus 27 plus 26. Right? So that will come to 260. And divided by number. Divided by the sum of all variables divided by the number of variables. Here it is 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the mean age is 26. Okay, so here the mean age is 26. This is how you have to calculate the mean. Add all the data, all the variable divided by number of variable. So you get mean, and the sample mean is given as, we write the sample mean by the sample mean is like this, where the population mean is denoted by mu. So in this case is sigma x divided by n, that is the sum of all divided by number of variables, and the population mean is denoted by the term mu. Okay, so what is the disadvantage? There is a disadvantage of calculating this mean, that is if there is extremes of values. Think that in this case instead of 26 we got a value of 66. Okay, age of one female was 66. That is an extreme of age. So if we calculate here, the whole thing will become as 300 divided by 10. So the mean age will become 30. So this mean is affected by extremes of value if it is present. That is one disadvantage of this calculating this mean. Okay. So that is how you have to calculate mean, important. Then the median. What is median? Median is the middle value. Okay, median is the middle value. That is the middle value of a group of data. The median is the middle value. So in this, you have to arrange the data in an ascending order or in a descending order. So we will arrange it in an order. It starts from 21. Then comes 25. How many times 25? 1, 2, then 26, again 26, 26, then comes 27, then 31 and 66. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so arrange that in an order, then take the middle value. So of 10, there are actually in odd odd numbers only you get the exact middle value. If it is an even number, you have to take the average of the middle values. So in this you have to take the average. These two are the middle value. So you take the average of this, it comes to 26, right? So the advantage of this is that it is not affected by extreme value. Okay, in a median it was affected by 66, which is an extreme value, but a median or the middle number is not affected by extreme value. So median is a middle value. In odd numbers you will get the exact middle value, and in an even numbers like this you have to take the average of the middle two values. Okay, regarding mode, it is the value which occurs most frequently, or the value the repeating the most. In this case, what is the mode in this case? 25 was 2 times and it was 26. Okay, it was 26 which happened 3 times. So here the mode is 26. So the value most frequent value or repeating most frequently. So that is mode, and this is the statistics which we use in case of nominal data. I already told what is a nominal data along with types of data. So nominal data is a named data, but it has no natural order or a ranking like the color of people. So in that case we use mode. And in epidemiology, when we want to describe an epidemic in relation to time, we again use mode. So these are the average for measuring measurement, one type of measurement of study variable. The mean, that is the sum of all variable divided by number of variable. Median is a middle one. You do it in an order, ascending or descending order, and take the middle value. And mode is the most frequently repeating one. Okay. In all these cases, whether it is a mode, median or mean, you might have noticed that we are getting only a single value. So for example, a person want to learn swimming. He just learned swimming, he is not good in swimming, and he want to practice swimming in a swimming pool. So he asked the instructor what is the depth of the swimming pool, and the instructor told that it is 5 feet. And the person started swimming, and suddenly he went to the deeper side, and it was actually 9 feet, and he started drowning. Okay, so this happens because the instructor failed to tell that the swimming pool has a range of from 3 feet to 10 feet. He has to tell like that. So in some cases like this, situations like this, a single measurement will not fit into that. So in such situations, we have to tell the data as variability of data, or measures of dispersion. What are the measures of dispersion? For dispersion, there are 4 types of dispersion measurement. One is range, interquartile range, mean deviation from mean, and the common one, which is variation or the standard deviation. So what is this range? Range is we get the interval between the maximum value and the minimum value. So again, example of the swimming pool. The swimming pool, at one end it is 3 feet, and the other end it is 10 feet. Okay, so the range is 3 to 10. But suppose in most time this is 3 feet, and suddenly it is going to the 10 feet. That is, there is an extreme value. So again this will make confusion. If there is an extreme value, this will not tell. But if it is from 3 feet to 10 feet, the person will think that I can also go to that, I can also use that swimming pool. but this is most of the time it is for children 3 feet, and only at some one extreme it is going to the 10 feet. There is no sloping. So again this is influenced by extremes of value. So range is the interval between the minimum and the maximum variable or the value. And again the disadvantage, but advantage is that it is easy, it's a very easy pointer to describe the data. But disadvantage is, as I already told, this is influenced by extremes of value. And to tackle this, we get the interquartile range, or otherwise call it as an IQR. This interquartile range is the interval between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So think that like this, from minimum value to maximum value, if you tell it between this, it becomes a range, isn't it? It is a range that is between minimum and maximum value. But we are dividing that into 25%. So 25% will become the quarter 1, and 75th percentile becomes the Q3. So what is that interquartile range? That is this part. This becomes the Q2 or 50th percentile, isn't it? So you get an interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. You get the middle 50% of the values. So that is interquartile range, and this is not affected by extremes of value. Extreme will come at the maximum, but it is only the middle 50% you get it by an interquartile range. Okay, you got it? It is between Q3 and Q1, the middle 50%, right? So between Q3 minus Q1, you get the middle 50, right? So that is how you calculate interquartile range, and the advantage is that it is not affected by extremes of values. Next is mean deviation from mean. Of the each value, we find the deviation from mean. So that shows that how much it is deviated from the middle of the set. Okay, if there is a set of value, each value, how much it is deviated from the middle of set of data. So this is the age of females, 5 females who came to antenatal clinic. So if you want to find out the mean deviation of this 20 from the mean, first we have to calculate the mean of this set. For that we have to add all these 20 plus 26 plus 28 plus 21 plus 20. So we will get a value of 115. Divided by 5, we get 23. So 23 is the mean of this value. So in each case you have to find the difference from 23. So what is mean deviation of this 20? We get 23 minus 20, we get a value of 3 plus 6. So in each value you have to find out the difference from the mean of the set. Okay, so again it is an easy to give an observation. You can tell that the 20 or it is 3 deviated from 23. So we will get where the value stands from the middle of the set. But the disadvantage is that it ignores the value in front, whether it is positive or it is negative, whether we are adding or we are subtracting, or we are ignoring the sign of this mean deviation from mean. And anyway, this is not commonly used in calculating, this is not commonly used as a measure of dispersion, because we have better choice of as a measure of dispersion, which is widely used one is standard deviation or the variance. Okay, so that is why we usually do not go for this mean deviation from mean. The standard deviation is the most important or most commonly used measure of dispersion, and the advantage is that this is calculated in the same unit as that of the measured observation. Okay, same unit for that of the observation. So that is an added advantage, and usually it is calculated as a square root, and if you take the square of the standard deviation, that becomes the variance. Okay, so that is the square of standard deviation becomes the variance, and standard deviation is actually the square root. So how will you calculate? First you have to take the mean. If these are the value, first you take the mean of all this, and then you find the each variable or each data, you have to find out the difference from the mean and then square that. So if you have mean of this came to be 28, that is this one, then you find the difference 20 to 28, that is 8. For each value you take the calculate the square root of this, so it becomes 64. Like that, for each value you find out, that is this one, then you take the sum of all that and then you square root, then you get the standard deviation. So this is the most commonly used measure of dispersion. Usually we express it as arithmetic mean, or the mean plus or minus standard deviation. That is how we express the observation, mean plus or minus standard deviation. And also you have to remember this variance, which is the square of standard deviation. Also, if you want to compare the variability in different groups, you have to use the coefficient of variation. You have to comparing the variability in different groups, take the coefficient of variation. It is otherwise called, we calculate it as CV. So that is standard deviation divided by mean. Mean is same as arithmetic mean. Okay, arithmetic mean and mean are both the same. We take the percentage of this. Okay, so this is coefficient of variation. This is also you should be aware of this one also. Standard deviation divided by mean, and we take the percentage of that. Coefficient of variation to find out the relative variability between different groups. Okay, so this is how, these are the measures of steady variable. To summarize, there are types of data. For qualitative, it is mainly nominal and ordinal, and for quantitative, it is mainly discrete and continuous variable. Discrete one we can count, and continuous one we can measure as height, weight, body mass index, like that. And average measures are mainly the mean, median and mode. And for measures of dispersion, it is mainly range, interquartile range, mean deviation from mean and standard deviation. And usually the commonly used one is standard measure of dispersion is mean plus or minus standard deviation. This is most commonly used measure of dispersion. Okay, thank you.